Hi everyone. Today we are going to expand more on adjusting the cash book. The topic of bank reconciliation is still ongoing because we need to master how to do cash books. And this is a question that I would like to start with. If suppose we have a business cash book that has 25,000 and it shows in the business records as 25,000. And then when we get our bank statement, where do we get it? Remember, this is the document that we get externally. It's outside of our business. It comes from the bank that the business uses. When we get the bank statement, it says 28,000. However, what is in the business records must agree with what is on the bank statement. But in our case, the balances are different. Ask yourself a question. Why is it that these balances are different? What could have happened? How do you correct the error? Where do you even start, even if you wanted to do that? And that is what we are going to learn today. Think about it as we move to the next way of finding out. Now, these are 3 steps that are very helpful for you to adjust your cash book. If there is a difference, like the example that I showed you, if there's a difference in the cash book and the banking statement, it does not mean that something is wrong. However, it just means that certain things are recorded in the bank statement, but they are not necessarily in the records of the company, or the opposite. Let's learn about these 3 steps. That'll help you. Number 1, you need to identify the transactions, meaning that find the bank transactions on the statement that are not in the cash book. This needs your eye and your good attention to detail. Right? Be able to identify. Step number 2, you need to add or subtract. As you identify, you need to identify amounts that you're gonna add, meaning that money came in the business that you didn't know, or you are going to subtract the money that went out of the business and you did not know of. And step number 3, you now need to do calculations based on the adjustment that you made, whether you added money or you subtracted. You need to do your final calculations. Now, a question that Elena would ask themselves is, what is it that I need to add if I wanted to know that? Right? And in this case, in the bank statement, you have to look at the money that the bank or rather the business received. And it led to the banking balance increasing. These types of money could be the interest received. It could be the deposits from customers that transferred money using EFTs. And it could also be deposits. Another question is, which money can decrease the bank? Meaning that money went out of the business. And these type of transactions are your banking charges, your debit orders, and your dishonored checks, right? In most cases, if you can identify which transactions you need to add and which one you need to subtract, these are the transactions that are key to know and understand. If you wanted to add transactions, you would use the cash receipt journal. And if you wanted to record payments, you would use the cash payment journal. And this is how you can memorize it in your head. Money that goes inside the business, right? You add that money. Money that goes out of the business, you create it as a subtraction. So just make these key notes to remember how to add and how to minus payments. And this is also a summary that you can also keep for yourself, just to remind yourself that the main transactions that are most likely to make the bank balance differ with what is on the business record is interest received, which you need to add, direct deposit, which you need to add as well, bank collections. This could be money from customers as well, so you add that. Banking charges, which you need to subtract. Debit orders, which you need to subtract. And lastly, dishonored checks, which you need to subtract as well. And I would say that that is it, basically, with understanding deeper about the difference that could be presented in the cash book and how do you reconcile that and adjust that with the bank statement as well. Thank you for today's lesson, and I will see you guys in the next lesson.